we come back, Jessica Lange stars in Men Don't Leave, the story of a young widow facing life on her own.
Mrs. McCauley, I know you're going through some personal problems.
You're my problem.
It is named Men Don't Leave, and it stars Jessica Lange as a happily married woman with 2 sons. One day her husband is killed in an accident, and so she's left to raise the boys as best she can. She sells their small-town house, moves to the big city of Baltimore, and gets a job with a gourmet delicatessen. Of course, the big question is, will she find a new man in her life? And the answer is, of course she will. He's a musician, and they have a meet-cute when she drops lunch all over the floor.
We're playing here Friday night. It's a very weird program. You like weird music? Good. Bring a boyfriend or a husband or whatever. And afterwards we'll get together and all throw food on the floor.
That's Arliss Howard experiencing love at first sight. Lange's older son, played by Chris O'Donnell, soon starts a strange relationship with a somewhat older woman who lives in the same Baltimore high-rise. She's played by Joan Cusack, whose performance is one of the best things in the film.
Are you a nurse?
No, but I help people.
Lange disapproves of this relationship, but despairs of controlling her family in the strange new city environment.
I really don't want you in my house if you can't treat us with some degree of courtesy.
You know, I don't know what your story is, but why don't you hit the streets and find a nice little 10-year-old, and then you can really go to town.
Meanwhile, Lange's own relationship with the musician is on again, off again.
I like you. I like to be close to you. If it can't be physical, let's go bowling.
There are actually certain similarities between Men Don't Leave and Stella. Both of them are manipulative tearjerkers, but while Stella has the courage to admit it and to go for it, Men Don't Leave is all cluttered up with the debris of unnecessary realism. It pretends to be a lot more sophisticated than it really is willing to be. Jessica Lange is actually very likable in this movie, but the screenplay is a mess. A thicket of false starts and dead ends, and the movie's unconvincing happy ending feels like it got that way only because they left out about 3 crucial scenes at the conclusion of the film. Among the many questions I have about this movie are, I doubt if a 4th grader could ride his bicycle and hop a freight train out of Baltimore and wind up in a small town a 2-hour drive away. I doubt that hot air balloon rides are an instant cure for manic depression. And I also doubt that many women in this predicament will be able to find a man who is infinitely gentle, understanding, laid back, and saintly. I just find that hard to believe.
Well, this is sort of classic. We got to just preserve this show, if only to say, I declare that this is the good, really fine movie, and that Stella is worthless.
You're joking.
That is exactly the way I saw these 2 pictures. If people are ever going to, you know, they always want to know about our relationship and what we are like. Look at these 2 pictures and see what you think. Then that's what we're really like, because this picture to me is lifelike. This is tough. There's a heartbreaking scene where the older boy, the 17-year-old, wants that man to come back into his mother's life, and it's a beautiful scene. I defy you to not be emotionally moved by that scene. In fact, I'm going to ask you, were you not emotionally moved by that scene where he pleads for the guy to come back and be friends with his mom?
I like that scene.
All right, that's a good scene.
Yeah, I did like that scene. But Gene, just a second now.
Yeah.
Here's the problem here. You say this movie is realistic. I say Stella and this movie are equally manipulative and artificial, but that Stella has the honesty to say, that it is a tearjerker. This movie, which pretends to be the sociological study of this person, is more of a fantasy, really, than Stella. I mean, come on, this is the unmarried woman syndrome again, where the woman is alone, and who does she meet? The greatest guy in the world, you know? And he's understanding, and he's there for her, and he's always just perfect. I'm surprised you couldn't see them, you know, pushing your buttons all during the movie.
I was enjoying the story.
Getting your buttons pushed.
No, because I didn't expect in this kind of story to find the Joan Cusack character. I didn't expect to find...
What happens at the end?
Wait a second.
Can you even tell me what happens at the end of this movie?
Oh, life goes on, and boy, that's exactly what happens.
Do they get the money from the lottery or not? Is she really the partner of that woman in the bakery? Where'd she get her new clothes? Where'd she get her hairdo? Does she even have a job?
She's going to have a job.
You don't know any of that
She's
stuff.
going to have a job.
There are scenes missing right and left.
Roger, you don't know what is going to happen in the future.
What about her depression? That's it? You have a deep depression, you go in a hot air balloon, and the depression goes away?
She's going to have a depression later.
Gene, this movie was just as much a soap opera as the other one. Just not honest enough to say so.
No, I think it's not even the same kind of soap opera. I think this is patches of realism and wild comedy, directed by the guy who did Risky Business, and it's another good film.
Real disappointment for Paul
I like
Brickman.
this picture a lot.